Hey guys, this episode of the Peak Nation podcast, Trevor, this is episode 4. Can you believe it, man?
Man, breezing on through.
But this episode is brought to you by Agogi Combatives and Agogi Armory, located at 95 Hunt Drive in Rossville, Georgia. This is an amazing gym, place where Trevor trains. These guys are just phenomenal. The armory there is world class. They got everything that you could possibly want. They have an armorer there that can take care of your needs as far as getting your weapon ready and get your weapon sighted in. They have some engraving, and they have a couple new things that they have set up where they can paint, do some painting and things like that. It's a really nice spot. Go there and train with some of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners and kickboxers that you will find in the Southeast.
Yeah, and
Trevor.
also,
Sorry.
also at the Armory, I reckon they just become the home of the Northwest Georgia chapter of the A Girl and a Gun group. So I reckon there's going to be a good group of women coming in there and learning how to shoot, learning how to properly handle firearms. So, if you're a woman and you're looking to protect yourself and you want to be in an environment that's, full of a room full of women, then, check it out. I'm not sure what days they're doing it on. I know they just recently joined the Gogi Armory, so check them out. It's pretty cool.
That is awesome. Yeah, that's something I would love for my daughter to be a part of.
Yeah, for real, man.
Learn how to shoot, especially this day and time. It just gets wilder and wilder. It seems like on the news. Yeah, it's a good thing. Get your little girl, your wife, to learn how to fight, and get her to learn how to shoot. Every woman needs to know how to shoot a gun and
Amen.
fight.
Amen.
Amen, man. Well, brother, these last couple of weeks, I've been getting on here, putting these verses out, and man, it's like every week. If you guys are not on Facebook or Instagram, check us out. But we send these little messages, these verses out, daily, and they've been sticking with me today. One that I had posted the other day was in 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 9. Says, the Lord is not slow in keeping his promise. Instead, he is patient with you, not wanting anyone to perish, but for everyone to come to repentance. That's one of my favorite verses in the Bible, man, because a lot of times we think that if things aren't happening immediately, that somehow God has forgotten us. But, I think you look in scripture with, almost every time, even when David was, when he was told by Samuel that he was going to be the king, there was a time in between from the prophecy to the fulfillment where a lot of life happened for David until he actually walked into the promise that God had for him. And I think that we, a lot of times we are in that position, right? And sometimes we think God has abandoned us, but the reality is he's getting us ready for the fulfillment and that promise that he has promised to us. I know, Trevor, you probably, you can relate to that, especially, the kind of the promise of where you're going to be now and, working that up, that fulfillment time to where, you're in a great position to tell people, about addiction and other things like that. But you have this stage and you have that background, albeit, it's hard to look at sometimes, and it's hard to, sometimes we have shame that we feel for some of the things that we did, but we see that God used those moments that we went through to build us into, like we were talking last podcast, to be more relatable to people who are struggling so that they can see the hope and the promise of the Lord. Yeah, I just want to give you just a second to share what you think about that and your journey too, as you've been going along this.
Yeah, you could read the verse one more time.
Yeah, brother. It's in 2 Peter. He said, the Lord is not slow in keeping his promise. Instead, he is patient with you, not wanting anyone to perish, but everyone to come to repentance.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. I feel like a lot of times we build up our expectations on what we feel like should be God's timing with things, or what we should even get out of this current circumstance. And expectations will let you down, man. I mean, they're good and they're bad, you know. But yeah, trying to know that God's on His own time, man, and that everything is going to unfold whenever it's supposed to unfold, and trying to stay patient and diligent, and remain thankful during them times, because ultimately, kind of like you was just saying, man, there's so much stuff that you have to go through to prepare you for whatever your blessing is that's coming. So just staying diligent and patient through all that, it can be a challenge, but man, whenever you start to see it all unfold, man, it's really cool stuff. I mean, I'm currently kind of experiencing that right now with all my training and everything, man. It's just really seeing God work up here, and it's been wild, man. It's been really, really cool these last couple of weeks.
Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit. You are in Colorado training with some killers.
Man, I am, dude. I am. I'm actually in Dwayne Ludwig's fighter house right now, and it's. I know, man. It's crazy. Like, you know, Dwayne. You know, all this kind of started out with a, you know, pretty much a favor. TJ Dillashaw had kind of set all this up for Torres and I, and you know, Dwayne hasn't really been working with any fighters for the last couple of years. You know, he's been really focused on God and his family and everything, and Johnny Jones and TJ Dillashaw kind of got, you know, all this set up, and you know, Dwayne said in the beginning that, you know, the conversations between him and Johnny, that, you know, he felt like God was kind of leading him to meet us, and it's been incredible, Kyle. I mean, dude, it's you know, I've got all the, you know, everybody knows how I feel about Jeff Powell. You know, I mean, Jeff's been such a blessing to me, man. He's taught me as much. He's taught me probably more than anybody's ever taught me when it comes to, you know, putting some gloves on and fighting somebody. And, you know, years ago, we was talking, and you know, I asked him who his favorite fighter was, and I actually think, like, I was going through a process of trying to come up with nicknames, and I was like, "What about Bang?" And he was like, "Dude, that's my favorite fighter's nickname." And I was like, "Who's your favorite fighter?" And he kind of went on to tell me about Mr. Ludwig, and it's been incredible, man. I mean, it really has. I can't thank him enough. I can't thank TJ enough, and Johnny for setting all this up. You know, it kind of started out as a favor, and feeling like, you know, something that God was kind of working in, and now it's turned into a family type thing, I feel like, anyways. I mean, I've absolutely fell in love with Dwayne, and he's treated us like little kings up here, man. He's held our hands the entire time. He's walked with us. He's been with us at every practice. I mean, everything that we're doing, man, he's orchestrating, and really, really, you know, fine detail and everything. So there's no telling over the last couple of years how many, you know, world class fighters, I mean, at the highest level, have asked, you know, him to work with them and corner them and stuff like that. And he's been super focused on God and everything, man. So just for him to, you know, even give us just a little breadcrumbs of his time, man, has been a blessing. But man, this guy has been with us every step of the way so far, and it's incredible, man. And then we're getting to train with a gentleman named Leister Bolin. His son just won the state championship, state title in wrestling last night. His team went, I think he got 5 people that won state. It was the first time in the school history they had ever won a state tournament. Like, me and Torres went over there last Monday. We went over there, man, and he's like, "Y'all do some warm-ups, get loose. We're fixing to get started." And like, I'm sitting there, dude, and I'm looking around, and I start noticing all these pictures, right? And I'm seeing like signed UFC gloves, and I'm seeing like TJ Dillashaw's fight poster, and I'm like, I gotta look at these pictures, man. So I literally, like, I quit warming up, quit doing everything, and I went over to the wall. Kyle, dude, every single one of this guy's pictures was like him and George St. Pierre, and he's like in the cage with George St. Pierre at a fight, and he cornered George. And like he's got these big thank you notes on there from like St. Pierre, like thank you for all you've done for me and all this stuff. And I was just like, I went back to Torres. I was like, we're in the right place, man. We are in the right place. And he was like, what you mean? I said, go look at them pictures, dude. I was like, you see them pictures of her? Go look at them pictures. I said, every one of them, St. Pierre and Dillashaw and Daggum, Shane Carwin and them. And he come back over and he's like, oh, man. And it's been, I'm telling you, dude, it is, it's next level out here for sure. I mean, it's rough. There's a lot of people that I've trained with in the past, man, that I don't know if they could make it, if they're mentally prepared to make it through some of this training that we're currently experiencing. But it's definitely next level, man. Seen Chepe the other day. we I reckon up here, you know, they've got a high altitude martial arts, and that's the home of Elevation Fight Team. You know, everybody knows I fought Chepe Mariscal. That, you know, back last June, he fights out of there, and man, we went over there a few days ago, man, and that dude's he's a little scrapper, dude. Which his coach come up to me and was like, y'all stay away from each other, you know, just in case. Let's keep y'all away from each other. And I was like, which my nose, I sparred Tyler Jones right before he come up here, man. That son of a gun broke my nose, so I haven't been getting too many rounds in as far as like full contact just yet. I'm hoping this coming up week I'll be able to sling some bones a little bit. But yeah, my nose has been a little jacked up, but it's cool, man. It's different. This high altitude stuff ain't no joke. You know, we got here last Saturday. As soon as we got off the plane, Torres, me, and Johnny, we all headed straight to Dwayne's place and got right to it, man. We did about an hour and a half, 2 hour long workout, and my lungs felt pretty decent. Honestly, they felt a lot better than I thought they were going to. But about the next 2 or 3 days, son, I felt like I was breathing through a daggone cloth. I mean, I was really, really sucking wind, man. But it's starting to balance back out, and we're, like I said, man, I mean, we're getting to train with some of the best, absolute best, and most respected individuals in the world. So I think it's pretty neat, man. And I really, like, I knew the training. I figured the training would be next level. I mean, you can't train with guys that's been around this long and the training not be next level. But I had no idea that, you know, I would, you know, get along and click and mesh with everybody. I mean, I feel like I've known Dwayne for years, man. I mean, he's been a joy and a blessing to be around. So just wanted to thank TJ Dillashaw and for setting all this up, man. I owe you, brother. It's been an incredible journey so far, and I'm super excited about where it's going. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart, TJ, for, you know, sticking your neck out for us, man. I promise I'll give it my all while I'm here. But thank you, sir. I appreciate it, man.
What a good guy. You know, one of my favorite things, and one of the things I was most excited about, Trevor, was there are guys that are gifted. They call it the third lung, right? They have that cardio that can go past. You were one of those guys. And when I heard that you were going to Denver, I was like, oh my gosh, nobody's going to want to face Trevor Peek once he trains in that altitude, because, you know, training, you know, I don't know what the altitude is in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I know it's not Colorado, but you already have amazing cardio. This fight camp, you know, in this next fight, Charlie Campbell better bring his boots, you know, because this is going to be a long hike.
Man, it's gonna be a rough one for old cringy Charlie. I'm afraid, dude. I'm feeling pretty good, man. It's been a rough road, man. You know, I've had a lot of really crappy like training camps, man, whether it be due to injury or just lack of time with coaches or even training partners. You know, I was stuck in the shed for a year. So, I mean, I didn't have any kind of help for a year, very little, I mean, but it's been organized. It's been high output, and it's been intense, man. I mean, it has been intense. I mean, Dwayne's warm-ups are harder than some practices I've been to in the past, man. I mean, you get through one of his warm-ups, you're like, ready to hit the sack, but then you're like, oh well, we got another hour and a half of a class. It's good though, man. I've never punched so much, and the level of grappling that I'm getting is like the wrestling. I mean, everybody knows like wrestling's been my kryptonite. I mean, we didn't have it back home, and it was just couple buddies in the yard, daggum rolling around in the mud and dirt and stuff. We never had no technique really taught to us. So I'd say wrestling's been my kryptonite, man. But that Leister Bowling guy he knows his stuff, man. And I'm going with guys that's probably 50, 70 pounds heavier than I am. I got cracked up the other day, man. He first day we went there, I puked. And then the next time we went there, he's like, at the end, he's like, can y'all wrestle for 18 minutes straight? And I was like, oh, God, I'm about to die. At which I was doing it round robin style, so if you won, you got to stay in. And then he was like, which he broke me and Torres up in a group with another couple big boys. And he said, if you get taken down, you got to do 15 burpees. And Kyle, like, everybody in that room's got me by, like, I'd say, me and Torres was probably the closest. His 217. I was probably 175 when we was there. So, I mean, everybody's got me by 30-plus pounds. And I looked around the room. I said, Coach, I'm fixing to do a lot of burpees, man, which I was just joking. I didn't care to do the dang burpees. But, it was cool, though, man. It's been neat. And we've been also getting to work a little bit with Vinny Lopez. He works with Curtis Blades and a few other Ty Flores and a couple other guys from PFL, and it's just all the pieces, man. They're falling together, and it's really, really cool, man. I'm smart enough and wise enough to know that opportunities like this don't come by often, and I also feel like God's definitely involved in this, man. So I'm gonna do my best to give Dwayne and everybody here, my all while I'm here. I mean, I'm having such a good time and everything. I know I'm going to go home for a few days, but man, it's just the level of intensity out here. It's pretty wild, man. So I think I'm actually probably going to spend most of my camp out here. I've been blessed enough that I believe, as long as everything goes according to plan, I believe Mr. Ludwig's actually going to be in my corner. So yeah, I know, dude. I hope he don't mind me telling everybody, but I just thought it was, I thought it was cool for Jeff as it was for me, man, because like I said, I mean, dude, I've never in my life known anybody that is like an encyclopedia for fights as much as Jeff is. I mean, dude, this guy knows more about fight statistics than anybody I've ever met. And for him to love Dwayne and Dwayne to be as big of an idol as he's been to him, man, it's an honor and a privilege and a blessing, but I thought it'd be pretty cool for Jeff too. I called him the other day and he was like, man, do you even want me to come, and I was like, yeah, dude. I was like, what, don't you want to corner your fighter with your favorite fighter? I said, would that be pretty cool? And he was like, yeah, man, that would be pretty cool. And I was like, yeah, I thought so, dude. Let's do it, man. So
that is awesome. Have you learned to read the room by the color of the shirts the guy's wearing? With
yeah, that's a thing in some of them, man. I just try to keep whites and grays on. You go wear them black in some places, you about to get rough, son.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing about Bang Muay Thai is it's just something cool that I like. I'd like to see no gi jiu-jitsu kind of go to the same thing where guys would wear the color belt rash guard that they are. I think that would be neat. That way you could read the room and tell. But yeah, Bang Muay Thai, they wear the different colored shirts with the level of advancements that there are. Get a bunch of black shirts in the room, you're in for a bad day.
Better have a good nose. Nose better not be broke. God.
Yeah, I really like that, man. So Dwayne, I watched a few videos, man, of him just talking. It's cool that he's going through this journey, of walking with the Lord and having his life, in parallel with the will of God. And I think that, I think it's obvious that you going up there and you being paired with Mr. Ludwig, I think it's perfect, man, especially, TJ Dillashaw. Just seems like a really good group of men for you to be around in this point in your life. And man, how far God has taken you, brother. I mean,
yeah, it's wild, man. I mean, the fact that, like I was saying, that there's no telling how many fighters over the last couple of years have come and approached him and tried to, beg him to corner him and coach him, man. And, you know, the fact that he felt like God was leading him to do it. And then, like I said, there was a little bit, there was a favor involved. I mean, it wasn't all, it wasn't nothing we did or anything. He was did it out of the goodness of his heart. But, you know, we've come up here, man, and we've busted our tails. We've been at every practice early. I mean, he tried to make us take an off day one day, and we went and sparred, or Torres went and sparred. I did the class before, but I mean, we're trying to gain his respect, man, by being, you know, the best versions of ourselves. I mean, if he's going to take time away from his family and, you know, and invest in us, then we're just trying to, you know, do our best by him and make his time worth it, man. And I think it's going great, dude. I mean, I'm really having a blast up here, like I said, and it's cool, man. It's different. I mean, it's a lot different up here. It's I'm trying to get used to the snow. It's it's like you're outside 1 minute, it's sunny, and then like you go back outside a few hours later and there's 2 inches on the ground. It's like, well, I've been trying to get Torres to get out here and play in the snow with me, dude, but he keeps using being black as a daggum excuse. I don't get it. That's what he's like. I'm black. I'm like, what's that got to do with it? He's like, black people don't do cold, man. I'm like, all right, dude, whatever, man. I guess I'm gonna build a snowman by myself.
I see he held the camera though while you chased that coyote though, didn't he?
Oh yeah, dude. I got out and I was trying to catch these little prairie dogs are everywhere up here, man. And I seen them prairie dogs and I pulled over and was going to try to catch one. I seen a little bitty fella trying to get back to his hole and that coyote was out there and I was like, shoot, man, I'm going to try to catch that coyote. And I posted them their videos, you know, and some woman was like, you'd feel real funny if that thing turned around and chased you. And I'm like, well, we'd be eating coyote. What are you talking about? I'd kill that thing, man. It's yeah, I got cracked up at it, man. I don't know. It's fun though, man. We're looking to go up into the mountains at some point. My stepbrother lives about an hour from here, and I didn't know it whenever I originally came, but you know, it's gonna be all right. We're gonna get up and try to experience some things, but it's been neat.
Yeah, you probably saved some prairie dogs, honestly.
Yeah, probably, man. Yeah, it's I didn't even tell anybody about that. I got cracked up when that woman said that about it chasing me or whatever, man. My last camp, I actually got in a fight with a daggum cane corso, man. No kidding, dude. Like, I got about 4 or 5 big old scars right here, man. He bit me right under my armpit, got my whole shoulder in his mouth, and like, yeah, I'll send you the pictures whenever we get off this, man. But yeah, I got tore up by a cane corso for our last fight, but I got him back though, man. I got him back, son. I made up my mind him or I one was dying, and luckily he chickened out on me and ran on. But man, it got me pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, you're the only guy that I know of that you caught a wild hawk one time.
Dude, I'll have to send you some pictures of some more of them. I think that was the 4th one I've caught in my life, dude. For some reason, I don't know why, but I don't know why, but I've caught about 4 or 5 hawks, man. It's been neat.
Wow. You know, it's weird. I'm like that with red fox. I don't know what it is. I've had red foxes come up to me like a cat and go across my leg. I've done that's multiple times in my life. I almost sound crazy. I went into the woods one time because a red fox went across my car or ran across my car, and she led me to her den where her pups were.
No
and
kidding.
I played with them.
Dude, that's awesome.
I don't know what it is, man. Yeah, but
That's awesome,
I've had a couple experiences with foxes in my life. Like, yeah, they just I see them all the time, and it's weird, man. I don't know. I don't understand it, but it's very weird.
Let's start calling you Fox Man or something.
Fox man,
Fox Trot.
And the Hawk Man, yeah.
What'd you think about the fights last night, man?
Man, it was kind of heartbreaking. I do like greatness, and so much respect for Volk.
Yeah.
And it was good to see Robert Whitaker going back to that fight, see him get a win. I like both those guys. I like Costa and I like Whitaker, but it was kind of a sad night to see Volk lose. How'd you feel about it?
Oh man, I love Volk, dude. And I mean, as far as skill and watching him fight, I mean, I love watching Ilya fight. I mean, I'm not real. I don't know. I'm just not crazy about him per se, but I mean, I love watching him fight. And I'd always thought he was kind of one dimensional, man. I didn't know his background really. And, here probably, I don't know, a month or two ago, me and Torres was talking about it, and I was talking about his boxing, and he was like, no, dude. He was like, he's a grapple heavy fighter. He's like, he just recently started boxing, folks. And I was like, really? And he was like, oh, man. He's like, he wrestled, he did this, he did that, and started telling me all of his accolades and stuff. And I was like, it was at that moment I kind of was like, okay, yeah, the Volk fight might be a little bit better than what I was thinking. And, I mean, Ilya's young. He's hungry. I mean, he's very, very confident. So, I mean, it was just his night. It's probably his time, man. I mean, at age, it catches up with everybody, But it takes a lot of confidence to do the things that he's done and say the things that he's done and started the things that he has, like with the documentary and everything, Road to the Title. I mean, it's cool to see somebody, manifest something like that and then accomplish it all. It's neat.
Yeah. I think knowing him, or not knowing him, knowing you, and just seeing Volk be very vulnerable after that last fight with Islam. And he talked about his mental health. He talked about how he needs fighting and how he needs to have he's the best version of himself, the best person of himself when he has a fight lined up. And I think about you, brother. That's in my head. I think about, well, man, the best I know of Trevor is when he's got a fight lined up. And it just kind of made him more relatable to me. And to see him lose kind of was like, man, I hope Volk gets another fight. I hope he continues on. And, I don't know his personal life, but just whatever it is that bugs him or ails him or anything like that, I hope that he's good. I guess that was kind of, it was more or less about being on this side of it, man. It's funny. I tell people even promoting fights, I don't watch the fights, dude. I can't take it, because people will become my friends. And I think just Volt being vulnerable in that moment, on when he was being interviewed and talking about that and knowing how fighters, deal with certain things. I think that loss just kind of made me my heart go out to him. Happy for Topuria, glad he got the win, but I also hope the future for Volk and, that he could kind of look back at the things he accomplished and be proud of him, man. Don't, just keep going if you want to keep going. And if you don't, stop, but it doesn't define who you are. You know what I mean? You're such a great fighter. You've done a lot of great things. Don't let this define you.
Yeah, and Torres and I was kind of talking, man. I wish he'd give his head a little bit more time in between the Islam and Topuria fight. I mean, Ilya is just too powerful, man. I mean, he's got just too clean a technique. He's too accurate, and he's got too much power. And I mean, that's the name of the game, though, man. I mean, it's what was just me and Torres just talking about. I mean, once that brain starts getting knocked out, it's like it's becomes a built-in mechanism to shut off a little bit quicker than it typically ever has, just to protect and preserve the body. And I reckon everybody reaches that point at some time or another, man. I wish he'd give his head a little bit longer, and I hope and pray he gives his head a good bit of time after this one to get everything dialed back in and get to feeling like Volkanovski again. So we'll see, man. I mean, he's still got a lot of life in him. So, I don't think his story's over with, but also he's good, man.
Yeah. Who do you think fights him next?
I don't really know, man. He's being all crazy about the current contenders, about they've kind of all had their shots and stuff. I'm looking for him to make the Sean O'Malley and Topuria fight. I kind of think they're going to go that route at some point. Maybe not his first defense, but I do think you're coming up. I think Sean O'Malley will try to test them waters, and I don't know if he'll go down or if Ilya will come up, but I do think that them. I mean, I don't know if he'll come up or Ilya will go down. Excuse me, but I do think them two will run into each other because it's just there's been bad blood between them. They're both got stardom power, and when you're a star, you've got a lot of power to make some big calls for yourself. So I think they'll go that route. And then again, I did see a press conference, whatever, where Ilya was saying that Volk is a good guy and he's a nice guy, and that he would give him a rematch. I I think Bolt needs to take a little time, let that head heal, and spend some time with his family, and get back to, like I said, get back to Ben Volkanovski, and then take that rematch. Maybe let Ilya defend it a couple of times, and then come in and try to retake what was his at once upon a time. But I think he needs a break for a little bit.
Moicano would be fun.
Okay, yeah.
That'd be a fun one. I'd like to. He's a wild man, dude.
Yeah. Now Moicano fights at 155. Yeah.
He does. Yeah, he does fight at 155. He was at 145 at one time, wasn't he?
I'm not sure. I think he might have been, but I'm not. I can't remember.
Yeah. That dude's wild, man. I saw a post-fight interview with his latest post-fight interview. So I'm wanting to join the police force to kill bad guys and all this.
Yeah, dude, I love watching him fight and listening to him. He's talking about his dad's 67, just had a baby or something like that. And he's like, I'm gonna go home and put a baby in my wife. It's like, dude, you're a wild man, but I'm here for it, dude. I love it. That's one of the things I love about this, man. It's just everybody's so unpredictable. And everybody really gets to show their personality, man. It's pretty neat stuff.
Yeah. What did you
Super Bowl?
Yeah. That felt rigged.
Boy, I knew when T Swift was involved, man. I knew they was gonna win, dude. I can't stand them, dude. God, they get on my nerves. I can't stand Taylor Swift. I might catch some death threats for saying that, but I can't, man. I just feel like they're all pushing an agenda, man. They've all got some evil ways about them. I wish people could see it. I mean, it's right there in front of you, man. I mean, seeing Ice Spice doing their little demon symbols and stuff, man. I mean, it's wearing the inverted cross. I mean, the music industry, man, is getting. I think that's the devil's number one tool, man. I do. I think the maybe addiction. Maybe addiction, but I think as far as just the broad scale of things and being able to get to everybody, I think it's his number one tool, man. Because that stuff goes to your soul. I mean, bad music, good music, it all goes directly to your soul, man. I mean, I had a time in my life where, I was really, really close to God, and man, I felt like me and him was unbreakable. And then I started listening to a couple of old songs that I'd had, man, that I used to listen, jam out to back in the old days, man. And then one thing led to another, and I was pretty far from God, man, lustful, chasing after worldly things. But I swear to God, it seems like it all started with music, man, just opening up that just little bitty crevices and them walls that you build up, man. That music, it creep on through them, dude. And I feel like it's his number one tool, man. You see all these stars, and they start out one way. And I mean, look at Sam Smith, Taylor Swift, Lil Nas X. I mean, you see all these guys and gals that started out singing about screen doors swinging open to devil scenes and music videos. And it's just like, I seen all that with the devil signs and stuff, man. And I even went and edited a couple of my posts, because I'd post like the little demon head meme or whatever, just because I seen that Super Bowl, and I went and even there might be one or two up still that's got that little emoji on it, but I was like, dude, that demons and horns and it just got like devilish symbols are everywhere, man. I was like, if I can not contribute to that at all, then I'm gonna try to handle that myself. So I just don't want to be out here trying to push an agenda accidentally, or anything like that. It's just, you look around and it's everywhere, man. It's everywhere, and everybody's so blind to it. I don't know, man. It's getting rough out here, man. It's the people's losing their morals, losing their respect. Ain't nobody following God like they should be. A lot of people ain't anyways, and it's just getting sad. It's getting brutal, and it's getting rough out here.
Yeah, what's wrong with people, man? I don't know what in the world. Just seeing that, first off, what do they care about football anyways? You think, and then they're all in the crowd, and it's nuts. Yeah, I thought the same thing. A matter of fact, I turned it off.
Did you see the Joe Biden Twitter post?
Yeah.
was just like we planned it, and it's got his eyes glowing red, dude. I was like, that's a parody account, or just a knockoff account. And then I was like, oh no, that's the president of the United States. Like, that's really his account, which I know he's too dumb to even post on there, but somebody's posting for him.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. I don't get it, dude. God, I can't stand Joe Biden.
It's nuts. Yeah, he is. I saw a picture of him not too long ago where he had a birthday cake, and they had put all the like 80 something candles on there and lit, and the cake was on fire. It's just sitting there. It's like that.
He didn't even know it. Didn't even know it.
It's like that movie Weekend at Bernie's. They just prop him up, do whatever they want to with him, good.
I don't understand it, dude. Like, I feel like everybody in our entire country, like, collectively knows that he's not really the president, man. Like, there's people, because he can't tie his shoes, he can't make a proper sentence, and I just blows my mind, man. I don't even know the point in voting anymore. It's like I think whoever's in charge of this, whoever they really want to be president, is whoever they're going to be president. And what better to have an incoherent man that don't really even know what's going on, and that way you ain't got to worry about no conflict if the person don't even know what's going on. So,
and boy, they're going after Trump really hard,
I know, man. I know. I mean, Trump is what he is, dude. Like, he's got his own flaws and stuff, but I think in the grand scheme of things, I think he genuinely cares about our country, and that's why if I were allowed to vote, I would vote for him. State of Alabama took my right to vote away.
Yeah, which is crazy. To me, that's a whole nother topic, but to me, that's nuts. I think you still should be able to vote. Honestly, I think you should be able to have a firearm. Like, to me, it's you're still an American. You shouldn't take away, American rights. But that's another topic for another.
We'll do that one later.
Yeah.
Somebody knows how to get a boy his rights back. Hit me up. My God, I need them.
Yeah, man. I mean, it definitely puts a damper on hunting, huh?
I'm telling you, man, I'm out there with a stupid stick and a string trying to sling a daggum arrow, man. I'm terrible.
Yeah. It was on the law for a long time where they gave, when someone got out of prison, they gave them a shotgun and an acre of land, and I think a cow. Or a mule. I think that was on the books. Yeah, when they got for the first time when they got out of jail in the state of Alabama, there was an acre of land, a mule, and a shotgun. Before they took all the.
I'd be rich. This old days, son, I'd be doing very well for myself.
Yeah, man.
16 acres and 16 mules.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. You'd be right there. But yeah, it's nutty. What do you think about Merab? Going back to that fight.
Merab's I've sparred with Merab a few times, and a lot of the rounds I did with him was stand-up rounds. And, I was even telling Torres last night, I said, that Joker's got some very good stand-up that people don't know about, man. And then to go in there, Henry Cejudo looked tired very early. I don't know if he had a rough training camp and he didn't get to train properly, or maybe had some kind of sickness going on, because like he seemed like in the past, which I know he's getting older, but in the past he's had an endless gas tank. And I know Merab's style is very taxing on the cardiovascular system, but man, it seemed like he just didn't have the stamina that he typically had. And Merab's he's the next. He'll take that belt, man. I believe Merab will take that belt. He is just entirely too relentless and entirely too tough, and I think he'll end up getting the belt ultimately. But yeah, man, he's funny. He's cool to hang out with, man. I've been around Merab probably 10 times, and he's been a joy to be around every time I've ever been around him. He's super nice.
Yeah, I hope he gets his shot. At least I hope he gets his shot. I know that the funny-haired guy doesn't want that to happen. That's what Merab called the skinny, funny-haired guy.
Yeah, skinny, funny-haired guy. Yeah, it's O'Malley's he's been pretty smart about his career, man. I mean, as far as, and luckily he's had them, he's had them with him. It's easy to be smart whenever you've got them on your side, man. But some of us got to fight through it and then gain the respect. But I don't know why it's like that, man. But it is. I think Snoop Dogg being on the Contender Series and all that, I think that kind of helped O'Malley out. But it is what it is. We all got our own paths, and they can't be on everybody's. They can't be on everybody's case, man, because it wouldn't carry the same weight. Wouldn't be able to build as many stars if they did it that way. But I'm hoping I'll get that respect one of these days, man. That's what I'm working towards, is getting a little bit of leverage and earning some respect from them. I feel like they like me, but I don't consider myself, I don't feel like they consider me a star just yet. I think they know I've got potential, because, I mean, you can't be this tough and gritty and not have some kind of potential. But I don't think they view me as a star just yet. But I'm hoping after I rattle off a couple more of these wins and I keep having these guys that are surrounding me and everything, I think I'll get their respect. I can't wait for the MMA World Series. Dwayne Ludwig in my corner, man. See how much better I've improved and stuff. It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, going back to what you just said. It seems like they do back guys, and then some guys that you think that they back, they kind of put them in bad positions. I felt that way a couple of weeks ago with Joe Piper when he was in that 5-round fight with Hermanson. It's just difficult for me. It kind of feels like Cejudo versus Merab, that should have been a 5-round fight, I feel like, because it was a fight. It was 2 versus 3. Whoever wins that fight should definitely get a title shot. But then you go back to that fight night with Hermanson versus Pfeiffer, and it's a 5-round fight. Neither one of these guys, probably their next 3 to 5 fights, even if they won all of them, more than likely wouldn't be for a title, because that was outside the top 10 fight. If you go 3 rounds, Pfeiffer wins the fight, but you give a gritty veteran a chance to beat the young up-and-comer. It just didn't make sense to me. Did you watch that fight, and how did you feel about that?
Oh yeah, I watched it. I'm a huge Joe Pfeiffer fan, man. I freaking love watching that guy fight. And I'm actually we ain't got to hang out or nothing, but man, every time I have a fight or anything like that, Joe reaches out to me and congratulates me and really encourages me, and tells me how good I'm doing, and it goes both ways, man. I checked on him before and after his fight, and talked with him a good bit and stuff, and he seemed to be in good spirits. I think a little bit of the media maybe was getting to him, like some of the comments he'd seen just going off of what he'd said to me, and I was just like, man, yeah, they're brutal, dude. They're all them people saying that, man. They're never going to dare to do anything great. I mean, literally, man. Most of these people that get on there, and you've got fighters that are disrespectful and they've accomplished things, but man, most of the time, you're reading all that garbage on the internet, man. These people are, they might be surviving off food stamps and never even, I ain't knocking that. I mean, I've been there in my life, but I'm just saying, like, if you're going to throw, people under the bus and criticize people, it's like, well, what have you done worthy of, being in a position to consider yourself a critic? You haven't done anything. And that famous bowler, I can't remember his name, but he said a quote. He said, I played, I think he said, it's pretty much around the lines. He was like, I played and you watched. That's all you could do. And then it's like,
Yeah.
That's it, man. That's all you could do. I just read that a few hours ago. But yeah, I think I see what you're saying about if there's not any kind of title implications or anything like that on the line, why would you do that? But at the same time, man, I think, like, how are you going to get ready for them title implication fights, or how are you going to get ready to fight for the title if you're not in that position to have ever experienced that, in a sense? And I do feel like the main event, it's a honor, and I feel like if you are capable, if they're going to entrust in you a main event, then they should be able to trust you to go in there and give them a good 5-round fight. And I see it from both sides though. Yeah, 3-round fight, Joe Pyfer wins that all day long. Feeney had forgot it was a 5-round fight. He's talking about how Joe about to win. I was like, oh, it's a 5-rounder, son. He's like, oh, it is. I'm like, yeah, man, these boys ain't done just yet. And I hate it for Joe, man. He's got such a good opportunity and he's got so many good gifts. And I think it's only the beginning for Mr. Pfeiffer, dude. I have very, very high expectations for that guy. I think he'll deliver, and I think he'll be one of the best in the world in that division. And I'm excited to see where he goes, and he's only going to learn from that fight, man. But dude, the calf kick it's really taken the MMA world over. I mean, completely. We watched Taffa last night. And I literally right before he caught that calf kick that pretty well ended the fight. I told Torres, I said, he don't adjust that calf kick, he ain't gonna be worried about punching hard anymore, man. He ain't gonna be able to move. And the very next strike, the dude dropped him with a calf kick. And Torres like, boy, you called that? And I'm like, you can't take many of them, man. The world don't know how bad calf kicks or any kind of leg kicks hurt, man. I'd rather get, maybe not the honker, but man, I'd rather get hit in the face all day long as that go and catch a nasty calf kick, man. I don't know why, but for me anyways, I don't really feel face shots all that much. Maybe a little bit, but like you catch a good calf kick, you might start rethinking your career for a few minutes. It's like, ow, owie. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's wild, dude. All the respect in the world, though. The old Pfeiffer, man, he's a stud, dude. I ain't lose nothing. I think he's still just as valuable as he was. He's only gonna get better from it, man. Good experience for him, but he'll be back.
It's kind of replaced the jab, hadn't it? The calf kick.
Yeah, I mean, really and truly, dude, it is probably more important than the jab. Maybe not more. It's a dang near as important. I mean, it's next level, man. I mean, that it'll cripple somebody. It makes you, like I said, it puts thoughts in your head that maybe a face shot won't, even body shots. I mean, anything below the head, man, you really think about it and you focus on it. And that ultimately starts distracting you from implementing your own game plan. So yeah, I'd say they're maybe more effective, more important nowadays.
Yeah. Thank you, Dustin Poirier. He was the first guy. I know it had been used before. He was the first guy I seen to really go implement that heavy in a game plan with that calf kick, and then it just kind of took over.
Yeah.
One thing I'm surprised that we hadn't seen was that head kick that and we saw Gaethje land and we saw Leon land where it's kind of hidden behind a punch. I kind of was expecting to see Vault pull that off. I was kind of hoping for him to pull that off. I thought he might have had an opportunity with it. What I know, you know what I mean? But I'm just watching that fight. But yeah, I
threw it too soon. He did throw it.
Oh, okay.
He threw it too soon, man. I feel like them things are more effective if you can get them thinking low, and then try to take it up top, or if you can at least establish that good jab to make them start moving their head off center and then throw it. I just felt like he went to it too soon and didn't give it time to really develop so he could have set it up properly.
Yeah. Well, brother, man, it's been a crazy week of fights. Have you been focusing going to Charlie Campbell? We're thinking about him. Is there a lot of game planning up in Denver? Are these guys familiar with that style, that New York style, and those guys from over there? Have you been able to train with someone who can kind of implement his style?
I will. Yeah. I mean, as far as like, man, Dwayne, I'm training with Dwayne Ludwig. I mean, dude, we're actually, he messaged me. He was out of town for a couple of days, these last few days, and they got back today. And he told me after practice tomorrow, he wanted to start sitting down and breaking Charlie down, man. So it's, I know, dude. I'm like, I've been emotional, really, dude. Like, it's been getting to me, dude. I don't know if it's the high altitude or the snow or what, dude, but I've been getting pretty emotional about all this, man. If I'm being honest, like, I was getting a drill with him the other day, man, for like a whole class. It was just me, him, and Torres and one other guy. I drilled with him like the whole class, man. And I told Torres when we left, I said, dude, the whole time I was training, all I could think about was, I'm sitting here drilling with Dwayne Ludwig. I was like, dude. And when that guy, dude, Torres said, bro, when he kicks, I said, he's solid, 80. He was like, dude. I said, yeah, I know. It's like getting hit by a daggum tree trunk. I said, you should have drilled with him for an hour. And he was like, dude, I'm telling you, man. But yeah, we're going to sit down and start breaking it down and, going through everything and seeing what he sees, seeing what I see. And then just really, one thing I love about it, man, is he's trying to water what I've already got and help me grow and not really just change me, just make me more efficient and add on to the things that I've developed already. And, I wished I could have been working with Jeff a little bit longer before I got up here as far as like consistency. We'd been out of camp and I hadn't been with him as much, but, so my technique wasn't as sharp as I'd say it typically is whenever I first got here. But I mean, within a week's time, I've already cleaned it up a whole lot, man. But I'm super thankful for Jeff, man. I mean, I've been able to come up here and jump right into training and pick things up incredibly fast, man, because of, the knowledge and the skill that Jeff's already instilled in me. Like I said, I was a little sloppy with some things when I first got here due to not being consistent the last little bit, man. But as far as everything clicking, I've been coached very similar for, the last several years with Jeff. I mean, it's been cool, man. So shout out Jeff Powell for, getting me to where I've, getting me where I'm at so far, man. It's been cool. I think this coming up week or this week, might get to go over to Trevor Whitman's place. And yeah, I know, dude. I know. I talked to Gaethje a little bit the other day over at Elevation, and he was like, how long you going to be here, man? I said, right now it's undetermined, dude. I said, I could be here another week. I said, I could be here another 4 or 5. Might spend my camp out here. I don't know. And he was like, yeah. And Dwayne said, man, it'd be good for you guys to get some work in. He said, if he's going to be out here for a while, man, yeah, it would be good. And I'd overheard Trevor invite Dwayne, out to his new place. So I'm hoping, before too long, man, I'll get to go over there and maybe get some rounds in with Gaethje. I know the world would like to see them rounds.
Yeah.
He said, somebody please post it.
Yeah, please post that.
Bulletin posters. Like, man, it's probably going to be rough, but dude, I'm so excited for it. I'm so thankful and so happy to be here, man. It's been, a lot's happened in my life, man, and a lot of behind the scenes stuff with this whole fighting game, and it's honestly made me lose a lot of love for it. And I knew that I figured and hoped, and prayed that there'd come a time, man, where everything was firing off on every cylinder and that I was extremely focused and having fun, man. And I've had moments of that, but, things back home's kind of taken away from it. But, I've come up here and got a breath of fresh air, and I'm focused, man. I'm more focused right now than I've been in a very, 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 very long time, man. I mean, I am incredibly focused, and my body is healthy enough to carry me through the training that I'm going through. I mean, I was getting ready for that Chepe fight. Well, wasn't Chepe originally, but I mean, there's been a few camps, man, that I'm just sitting there and I'm like, dude, am I going to have to quit? I mean, am I going to have to quit fighting? Like, I can't even train right, and thank the good Lord, man, I've been healthy enough because, I mean, it's intense, dude. I couldn't have done this a couple of camps ago with my body the way it was, but, thank the good Lord, my God, thank the good Lord that I'm healthy enough to carry out this training camp like I am. But huge shout out to Mr. Ludwig for, opening his doors to me and becoming a brother and a friend to me, man. It's been incredible. Shout out Johnny Jones for, going out of his way to network. That son of a gun is a networking machine, Kyle. I mean, he gets involved in the MMA game, and before too long, man, he's sitting in rooms with Dana White, and it's just, I've never seen him. I saw him last night watching the fights. The camera panned over. I was like, dude, there's Johnny, man. I seen him a picture. I was like, smile a little bit, brother. Looking all mad in the crowd, but And shout out to TJ Dillashaw, man. I mean, he stuck his neck out and got this opportunity for us. And just, you know, I ain't got to be around TJ yet, but man, I'm just thank you, TJ, for being a good guy and helping us out, man. I'll make the most of the opportunity, but thanks, man. And, you know, thanks to everybody back home that loves and support me and just keeps the dream alive for me, man. I mean, like I said, the tough times I was talking about, man, I probably would have quit if it wasn't for the support and the sponsors and the people that's invested their time and love and energy in me. And just want to thank, you know, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because I definitely feel like God's at work here, man. I mean, it's neat, man. Seeing everything fall together. That's some of the coolest moments for me in life, man. Is whenever you see something coming together and you're like, you know, it's God. You know what I mean? Like you see it falling together and things don't come together naturally like that, and you know it's God, and it's real refreshing and a blessing to be in them positions, man. And I'm just trying to be very receptive and everything of all these blessings, and just very thankful and grateful for them. And my friends and family back home, man, I love y'all, and thank you for being with me and everything. And all my sponsors and stuff, just thank you guys. And thank you, Kyle, for, you know, continuing to do this podcast stuff for me, man. It means the world to me. And I couldn't do any of this stuff without all the support and love that I've got and everybody in my back. And you know, it's got my six. I appreciate you guys. Y'all are the best, man. I do feel like I've got the absolute greatest fans and support system in the entire world.
Yeah, you're a good dude, though, man. And a big shout out to your brother from another mother, Torres Finney, the best travel partner in the game.
Man, I'm telling you, dude, that's what I told him the other day. I said, man, before it's over with, I said, I'm going to be traveling with you more than I have anybody. And he's like, yeah, we doing it up, man. But this joker going to have to get out here in the snow and play with me or something, man. I'm a wild man, dude. I got to get out and do some stuff. He's been a little bit of sissy because of the cold.
Well, Trevor, I'm going to let you get some rest, brother. Thank you so much, man, for your time to address your fans, man, the Peak Nation. And we're going to keep this thing rolling on. Awesome to hear from you from Denver, man. Guys, once again, check out the Goat Combatives, 95 Hunt Drive, Rossville, Georgia. The best guys you will find in the area. And, yeah, Trevor, thanks, brother. Thanks for your time, man.
Love you, dude.
Love you too, brother. See you, man.